Data remnants explains why information that appears to be deleted can still be recoverable, and understanding this concept is critical to responsible data disposal.
When users delete files or systems are decommissioned, there is often an assumption that the data is gone permanently. In reality, many deletion actions only remove references to data rather than the data itself. This gap between perceived deletion and actual removal creates risk, especially when media is reused, repurposed, or disposed of without proper sanitization.
Secure disposal exists to close that gap by ensuring data cannot be reconstructed after it is no longer needed.
Before we continue, a quick note. This audio course is a companion to the CISS books. The first book is about the exam and provides detailed information on how to pass it best. The second book is a Kindle-only ebook that contains 1,000 flashcards that can be used on your mobile device or Kindle. Check them both out at cyberauthor.me in the Bare Metal Study Guide series.
Remanence occurs when storage media retains residual traces of data after logical deletion, formatting, or reallocation.
Logical deletion typically marks storage space as available without altering the underlying bits, leaving data intact until overwritten. Formatting may reset file systems while leaving large portions of data recoverable with specialized tools.
Even partial overwriting can leave fragments that reveal sensitive information.
Remanence is not a flaw in storage technology, but a design characteristic optimized for performance and longevity rather than security.
Recognizing this behavior is the first step towards choosing appropriate disposal methods. Different media types exhibit different remanence characteristics, which is why disposal techniques must be matched carefully.
Magnetic disks store data using magnetic orientation, which can persist until deliberately altered or disrupted. Solid-state drives use flash memory with wear leveling, meaning data may be copied to multiple physical locations transparently. Optical media, such as compact disks or digital versatile disks, physically encode data that cannot be altered once written. Memory components can retain data briefly after power loss under certain conditions. Each medium requires a different approach to ensure residual data is eliminated. Overwriting has long been used to reduce remanence on magnetic media by replacing existing data patterns with new ones. On traditional magnetic disks, multiple override passes can significantly reduce recoverability when implemented correctly. However, overwriting is not always effective on solid-state drives because wear leveling and internal remapping prevent predictable control over physical storage locations.
Some areas may remain untouched even after repeated logical overwrites.
Relying on overwriting alone without understanding the underlying media can create false confidence.
This limitation is why modern disposal strategies increasingly rely on other techniques for certain device types. Cryptographic erasure provides an effective alternative when data is encrypted at rest, because destroying the encryption keys renders the underlying data unreadable. Instead of attempting to overwrite every storage location, cryptographic erasure focuses on key material that enables decryption. When keys are securely destroyed, remaining encrypted data becomes computationally infeasible to recover. This method is especially useful for large storage systems, virtualized environments, and cloud platforms where direct media access is limited. Cryptographic erasure depends on strong encryption and proper key management throughout the data lifecycle. When implemented correctly, it provides fast and scalable disposal. Degaussing is a technique specific to magnetic media, and it works by disrupting the magnetic fields that store data. A degausser generates a strong magnetic field that randomizes magnetic orientation, effectively destroying stored information. This process renders the media unusable for future storage, which may be acceptable or required, depending on sensitivity. Degaussing is effective for magnetic tapes and disks, but it does not apply to solid-state or optical media. Because it permanently damages the media, degaussing is often used when reuse is not planned. Proper equipment and safety controls are required due to strong magnetic forces.
Physical destruction methods include shredding, crushing, melting, and pulverizing, and they aim to eliminate data by destroying the storage medium itself.
Shredding reduces media to small fragments, making reconstruction impractical. Crushing and drilling damage platters or chips to disrupt storage structures. Melting and pulverizing are used for high-sensitivity environments where complete destruction is required. Physical destruction is media-agnostic and effective across many storage types.
However, it must be performed to appropriate particle size and verified to ensure completeness. Choosing the right sanitization method depends on media type, data sensitivity, and reuse requirements. Low-sensitivity data on reusable media may justify logical sanitization combined with verification. Highly sensitive data may require cryptographic erasure followed by physical destruction. Regulatory or contractual obligations may dictate specific methods regardless of internal preference. Reuse requirements influence whether media can be returned to service or must be destroyed. A risk-based approach ensures that disposal effort is proportional to potential harm. Chain of custody is essential in disposal processes because it records movement, handling, and authorization from decommissioning through final destruction. Without custody tracking, media can be misplaced, substituted, or improperly handled during transit. Records should document who handled the asset, when transfers occurred, and who approved each step. Chain of custody protects against both accidental loss and intentional diversion. It also provides defensible evidence during audits or investigations. Strong custody practices are especially important when disposal is outsourced.
Disposal policies define required sanitization methods, documentation standards, and approved vendors to ensure consistency.
Policies remove ambiguity by specifying how different media types must be handled based on classification. Approved vendor lists ensure that third parties meet security, environmental, and safety requirements.
Documentation requirements clarify what evidence must be retained to prove proper disposal.
Policies also define escalation paths when standard methods cannot be applied. Clear policy guidance turns secure disposal into a routine operational process rather than an ad hoc decision.
Verification confirms that sanitization actually occurred, closing the loop between intent and outcome.
Verification methods include system logs, destruction certificates, serial number reconciliation, and random spot checks. Relying solely on vendor statements without verification introduces trust gaps. Internal validation strengthens assurance and detects process failures early. Verification is particularly important for high-sensitivity assets where failure has severe consequences. When verification is consistent, disposal claims become defensible rather than assumed. Asset tracking links specific devices and media to disposal records and approvals, preserving accountability. Serial numbers, asset identifiers, and configuration records ensure that the correct items were sanitized or destroyed. Tracking prevents substitution, where an unapproved item is destroyed while a sensitive one remains intact. It also supports life cycle management by showing when assets were retired and how data was handled. Integration with asset management systems improves accuracy and reduces manual error. Strong tracking reinforces trust in disposal outcomes. Environmental and safety regulations constrain disposal methods and vendor selection, adding additional requirements beyond security alone. Some destruction techniques involve hazardous materials or emissions that must be managed responsibly. Regulations may restrict landfill disposal, require recycling, or mandate certified handling for certain components. Vendor selection must consider compliance with these obligations to avoid secondary violations. Safe disposal protects personnel, the environment, and organizational reputation.
Security disposal practices must align with broader environmental responsibility.
In conclusion, secure disposal removes recoverable data by matching sanitization methods to media characteristics and sensitivity. Data remanence explains why deletion alone is insufficient and why deliberate action is required.
Techniques such as overwriting, cryptographic erasure, degaussing, and physical destruction each serve specific contexts. Governance through policy, chain of custody, verification, and asset tracking ensures accountability throughout the process. Environmental and safety considerations shape how disposal is executed responsibly.
When secure disposal is performed correctly, organizations eliminate residual data risk rather than transferring it unknowingly into the future.
Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.